Welcome. My name is Louis Almeida. I'm the leader of the Gurdjieff and Spinoza Study and Work Group. This series of videos, we're going to focus on Gurdjieff, on personality and essence. I'm going to be reading in the book In Search of the Miraculous, and if you don't have this book, I recommend you purchase it on Amazon.com. You can probably purchase it, the book, for about $2, used book, and as you know, mailing is about $3.50. So you're going to receive a book around $6. It's worth reading. And once you get this book, I recommend also you email me, and because I have a preferred reading list. I don't follow everything in the book In Search of the Miraculous, but I find a lot of it has to do with I'm interested in the psychology of human nature, and I think Gurdjieff, it gives us a wonderful reality and exposes the problems of human nature. So let's go to page 161. And we're going to read about what's Gurdjieff, his views on personality and essence. Here we go. It must be understood that man consists of two parts, essence and personality. Essence in man is what is his own. Again, essence in man is what is his own. Personality in man is what is not his own. So here Gurdjieff is talking about what belongs to us is our internal being, our thoughts, our feelings, our essence. And we'll go on and to see how this reveals, but I want to go over the idea of personality is, Gurdjieff saying, is what is not our own. Everything that is, say, given to us outside of us, our belief systems, our impressions, our imitations, what we learned from as we were as we were growing. So let's start the next sentence. Personality in man is what is not his own. Not his own means what has come from outside, what he has learned. All traces of exterior impressions lift in the memory and in the sensations. All words and movements that have been learned. All feelings created by imagination. All this is not his own. And all this is personality. From the point of view of ordinary psychology, the division of man into personality and essence is hardly comprehensible. It is more exact to say that such a division does not exist in psychology at all. Now, Gurdjieff wrote this, or was expressing these ideas in the early 20th century. I would say about probably 100 years ago, about 1910. Here we are in 2010, in March of 2010. And I would say that even psychology today, they see man as a whole intact individual. And of course, they're studying the mind and studying the emotions to a certain degree. But they don't understand what Gurdjieff understood 100 years ago, that man is division. He's not whole. He is not a master of himself. He is comprised of many eyes, many desires. And so here we are today in psychology, and they don't understand the difference between personality and the essential man. So let's go on. A small child has no personality as yet. He is what he is. And this is what Gurdjieff is talking about. What is the essence of man? And here he is. A child has no personality. What he means, he's just pure essence. He is what he is. He is essence. His desires, tastes, likes, dislikes express his being, such as it is. But as soon as so-called education begins, personality begins to grow. So outside education, our parents, our guardians, whoever, nurtured us as infants and children, now they're educated us of how we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be like them because they were supposed to be like their parents, and so on. It goes on and on, almost to infinity. But let's go back to the book. But as soon as so-called education begins, personality begins to grow. Personality is created partly by the intentional influences of other people. That is, by education, and partly by involuntary imitation of them by the child itself. So the child has no choice. I think when I just a little thought here. You just notice when a child is these call it the terrible twos, a 2-year-old child, and the child says, no, no. It constantly says no, no, no. And because I see that a child wants to express its own nature, and it's saying, don't tell me that I should be just like you. I'm my own being. I want to be myself. And a little child of 2 years old is saying, no, 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 don't tell me to be just like you. I'm a separate individual. I'm not sure that's really true, but that's just a thought. But as soon as so-called education begins, personality begins to grow. Personality is created partly by the intentional influences of other people. That is, by education, and partly by involuntary imitation of them by the child itself. In the creation of personality, a great part is also played by resistance to people around him and by attempts to conceal from them something that is his own or real. And this is, again, this is difficult to understand. Maybe you do get it, but let me read it again. In the creation of personality, a great part is also played by resistance to people around him and by attempts to conceal from them something that is his own or real self. You notice that even to your deep friends, you don't really want to reveal sometimes something that you feel real about yourself. You might feel uncomfortable. You might feel inadequate. You might feel you might have low self-esteem. They call it today in psychology, low self-esteem. Or say you might feel you might be a poor learner. You might be very smart, but the point is, these hidden desires. So you might have a desire for you want to be a doctor, but you live in a poor environment, and so that idea would be ridiculed. So you hide these feelings to your friends or even to your family. You might have desires that you find that others would ridicule. Say, for instance, you're a boy and you want to become a dancer, and your father wants you to be a football player. So you hide these truths, these realities from people, and so you don't reveal what is your own. And so let's go on the next page. On page 162, essence is the truth in man. Personality is the false. But in proportion as personality grows, essence manifests itself more and more rarely and more feebly. And it very often happens that essence stops in its growth in a very early age and grows no further. It happens very often that essence of a grown-up man, even that of a very intellectual and in the accepted meaning of the word, highly educated man, stops on the level of child of 5 or 6.